So, we're here today to celebrate workers and the labor movement because there is so much to celebrate. Just this year alone, there have been 233 actions in 352 locations across the U.S. Many people are calling this the hot strike summer. Woo! With workers in every industry, both the public and private sector, from teachers to hotel workers, nurses to baristas, building trades to firefighters, workers are all demanding what we have always deserved. A job that pays well enough to raise our families and strengthen our communities. A job that provides benefits to stay healthy and retire with dignity. And a job that honors our hard work and respects us as human beings. That's why 340,000 UPS workers, represented by the Teamsters Union, just won their best contract ever. Because they stuck together, they didn't back down, and showed everyone that it's better in a union. That's why over 170,000 SAG-AFTRA workers and Writers Guild workers are currently on strike, supporting each other through this struggle, inspiring us every day, and showing us that it's better in a union. That's why 150,000 members of the United Auto Workers just voted to approve possible strikes at the big three auto companies, Ford, General Motors, and Stellantis, to remind those corporate bosses that it's better in a union. That's why Amazon workers, Starbucks baristas, and Uber Lyft drivers are all taking matters in their own hands, getting organized in the streets, and fighting for what they deserve, because they know these greedy, exploitative corporate CEOs need to feel the power and sometimes the wrath of workers to understand it's better in a union. And that's what this labor movement is all about. Realizing our power as workers, building collective power with a united voice, and organizing for real power to make change. When an individual worker decides to talk to another coworker about what's happening on the job, that's beginning to realize our power. When a group of workers recognize that they are not alone and that they are, as workers, are not to blame for the problems in the workplace, that's starting to build collective power. And when the majority of workers decide to form a union, to take action, and provide solutions for the problems they are facing with a united voice, that's organizing real power to make change happen. When we do this, my friends and comrades, when we use our collective power boldly, strategically, and intentionally, we are freaking unstoppable.
Yeah, team. Oh, yes, it's a great job. Hey, sisters and brothers and siblings in this room, take a minute and look around. Look around at your table. Look around at the person next to you and the person at the table over. And then look back in front at this enormous banquet hall. Because the people in this room, the group of people sitting here today, are the folks who are going to stand up and fight back against greedy corporations. Think about this for a second. If there is an unequal playing field, and there are powerful forces against us, the deep relationships in this room, and the solidarity, and the support, and the love for each other is what's going to fight back. You are organized labor. So in the construction unions, and the Boston Union Trade Sisters, in building pathways, we know clearly that there is no economic justice without racial justice or gender justice. We're joined this morning by the Commons ATU Local 589, holding it down in the public sector, to make sure that when they're winning a huge contract, one of the best ones in decades, that they are protecting a public transit and they are protecting the public good. Let's hear it for ATU. We've got undergraduate workers up on the balcony with Tufts University. The resident assistants of Ultra, with the majority of their members being people of color and working class families, just like everybody in this room, bargaining for their first contract at Tufts University. Let's hear it for the RAs. And in labor, we know we cannot do this work without our community partners. Today, joining us today is Community Labor United, New England United for Justice, La Collaborativa, Grassroots, Brazilian Worker Center, ACE, Clean Water Action. And that's just a few of the many who stand up for workers' rights in unions all day, every day. Let's hear it for our community partners. I got one last round. So just remember this. The fight is not over, but with the people in this room, we're going to win it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for joining us this morning.
All right, last thing, because this is important. This is why I think this holiday is so important. It invites us to remember that strong movements are made up of many communities, many leaders, many organizations, and many struggles that join together into an unstoppable, transformational force able to change the course of history. Our movements for, we are going to change the course of history. Our movements for economic, racial, and gender justice face powerful adversaries, like the Supreme Court that sides with big business and is taking cases that seek to weaken union power, reproductive justice, and civil rights, and the dangerous far-right movement that is on the rise here and across the globe that would rather destroy democracy than let us all enjoy its benefits. That's why our labor movement is so important. We need the leadership of our members, the power of our workers in our unions, and the solidarity of our community partners to continue the legacy of building the united front we need to confront and resist and challenge those who have always tried to divide us. So today on Labor Day, let's recommit to our shared struggle. Let's organize for respect and dignity in the workplace, for our families and our communities, and let's fight for that world we know is possible together as a united front. Because when we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
When we fight,
we win.
Thank you.
Yeah, Dolly. Hey, stay here. Stay here. Okay. And then I'm going to introduce,
Kristen.
Yeah. Watch it. It's your time, right?
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. We'd like to invite a couple of people up here that have been fearless champions of the working movement. They've been fearless champions of unions. They step up every day, every morning, afternoon, and evening to fight for what we believe in. They're labor champions, and they represent us. Can we please have Chrissy Lynch, Secretary-Treasurer of the Mass AFL-CIO, and Shaton Green, Business Agent with the Boston Building Trades Unions, come on up, please. Thank you.
Good morning, sisters and brothers, and siblings, and allies, and friends. We're going to do a quick roll call here. We hope we don't miss anybody.
We'll see who's in the house. I know y'all busy eating, but I'm going to need y'all to make some noise when you hear your local.
Greater Boston Labor Council.
That's all of us. That's all of us.
Women Build Boston. Community Labor United. Boston Union Trade Sisters. New England United for Justice. APALA and the Chinese Progressive Association. A. Philip Randolph Institute and BWC. SEIU 32BJ. The Machinists.
Yeah.
The Carpenters and SEIU 509.
Boston Building Trades Unions, what's up? Nice, nice. IBW 103. Let's go, let's go. Building a Stronger Boston. Okay, okay. IATSE. Let's go. Teamsters. Mail handlers. APWU 100. SMART. Let's go. SEIU 888. USW SENA. IBW 222. Amalgamated. Musicians Union. BABAM.
Right. Operating engineers, Local 4. SAG-AFTRA.
Wow.
AFSCME, Council 93. UFCW 1445. Mass Nurses Association. IBW 1505 and Utility Workers Local 369. Unite Here, New England Joint Board. Heat and Frost Insulators, Local 6. Boston Carmen's Union, Local 589. Communication Workers of America.
Laborers 22. Laborers 223. Local 26. 1199 SEIU. Firefighters. Mass AFL-CIO. Pipe Fitters 537. Plumbers Local 12. Iron Workers Local 7. LCLAA. Roofers. SMEA. IBW, oh, sorry. I can say 103 again for y'all. HIT.
IBW 104. Painters District Council 35. We got the plumbers in the house. We got the iron workers in the house. We got the Coalition of Black Trade Unionists in the house. We got the United Auto Workers in the house. Chelsea Collaborative. Mass Teachers Association and OPIU 453. I hope we didn't miss anybody.
And now let's put all our voices together at the same time. Is labor in the house?
All right, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, let's hear it one more time for all of us in this room. We are the labor movement. We are the labor movement. All right, next up. Oh, I'd like to welcome one of the most strategic, fearless, and fierce leaders in the labor movement. She is a genuine trade unionist, puts her members first always, and is ready to take it to the streets to challenge corporate greed. In fact, just over the last weekend, SEIU 32BJ took over the intersection of State and Congress in downtown Boston. Woo! Please welcome the Executive Vice President and Special Assistant to the National President of SEIU 32BJ, Roxana Rivera.
Thank you. Happy Labor Day. I can't hear you. Happy Labor Day. So I'm Roxana Rivera. I'm assistant to the president of SEIU 32. Yes, I'm excited to introduce our next set of speakers who are what Labor Day is all about. Today, we honor workers, their fights and victories and progress this past year. you will hear about our state's home care workers, our hospital interns and residents at Mass General Hospital, our university workers, our state house workers, and our service workers at hotels, retail, UPS, as well as SAG-AFTRA strikers, who we will be marching with later this morning. All these workers are part of our state's infrastructure that makes our Massachusetts economy strong. This month, my union, 32, will embark on a contract campaign for 12,000 cleaners. Like other essential workers, these cleaners took risks to show up for others throughout the pandemic, to ensure our universities, airports, and biotech facilities would keep running. We also faced a fight to lift wages and standards for over 1,000 Logan Airport aviation workers this fall. And our union has joined together with the Machinist District 15 and the Chinese Progressive Association to lift up the lives of thousands of rideshare drivers who struggle to make ends meet in our gig economy. But we know, as a labor movement, when we fight, when we fight, when we fight, thank you.
Good morning, brothers and sisters. Happy Labor Day. My name is Sam Dillon, and I am the very proud president of Boston Firefighters IAFF Local 718. And I proudly represent the men and women who proudly serve this city, this country, and this labor movement of ours. There's no politics inside of a burning building. There's only the right thing. And where we draw our pride and our convictions from is a staple of this labor movement and what we represent. Because no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter where you came from, the men and women that I proudly represent are going to come and get you and your family in your time of need, no matter what. I want to thank all of our brothers and sisters for joining us here today, elected officials, and especially our mayor, the mayor of Boston, Mayor Michelle Wu. Your Honor, I'm very glad to see you here today, demonstrating your commitment to your union workforce in this labor movement. I always pay very close attention to everything you say, but I'm very excited today when you get up to speak to be hanging on every word, as you demonstrate your commitment to union workers and the men and women who would lay down their lives to protect our city. Thank you for being here.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Asima Mamich, and I work for the Seaport Hotel, and I've been working for the Seaport Hotel more than 20 years. Thank you. For so many years, I was giving so much to my hotel. Co-workers and I were treating each and every guest as a VIP. Where there was a bad storms coming through Boston, we all know, maybe 10 years ago, we were designated to stay at the hotel for overnights. And I would leave my children at home, my underage young children at home with my mom, and not seeing them for a few days. That's how I was sacrificing for place and work that I love. And it's not just me alone, it's all my co-workers too. But this year, Seaport Hotel decided to drop 3/4 of my co-workers, including myself, down to part-time. Yeah. We were left without health insurance. And as we all know, we know what it means not to have a health insurance in this country. We lost our vacation time, we lost our sick time, we lost anything and everything. Many of us was depressed. We left very disappointed. We were just stabbed in the back after so many years of hard work and service for the Seaport Hotel and World Trade Center. And you can imagine how much that hurts. It does hurt a lot. This is why we decide to form a union, a Local 26. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you. So we can be union, just like the all co-workers, all workers here at the Park Plaza in Boston. Fidelity Investment, it's an owner of the Seaport Hotel. Ever since we filed for election, Fidelity has nothing done than giving us a hard time and try to delay our vote. But I have a message for Fidelity. Union busting is disgusting, right? Respect our rights to organize Local 26. Please, I'm looking all my brothers and sisters in this room, and I'm so proud of each and every one. But we cannot do it without you guys. Please, please come and support us. We need support. Thank you so very much for your support. Thank you for standing with us. Thank you.
Hi, I am Kirsten. I am one of the workers at our newly unionized REI here in Boston. Me and a few of my coworkers came into a pretty good job and thought we want to make this better for each other and for ourselves, and we really have had such amazing support from the UFCW, Local 1445. And I'm so proud to be a legacy baby. My dad was in the UFCW, and it's amazing to be part of this community and have so much help from other workers and our organizers, mostly named Jack.
Happy Labor Day, everyone. I'm Dr. Erica Lee. I'm a psychiatry resident at the Cambridge Health Alliance and a proud New England Regional Vice President for my union, the Committee of Interns and Residents of SEIU. You all may wonder why a doctor is standing here in front of you. When I started residency during the pandemic, I signed a 4-year contract to be paid $15 an hour for an 80-hour work week. I spent about 2/3 of my paycheck on rent, and if I didn't have savings from my prior job as a CNA unionized with the grade 1199, I would have had to take out another loan on top of the $300K already over the government. Organizing through our union has made residency distinctly different in Boston. 2 years ago at the Cambridge Health Alliance, my peers and I successfully bargained for free, accessible mental health care for all residents. And just 2 weeks ago, Boston Medical Center house staff won a contract with over 20% raises over the next 3 years. But our fight isn't over. In a couple of months, Cambridge Health Alliance residents will bargain once again for raises that actually account for inflation. And 2,300 Mass General Brigham residents and fellows will start bargaining for their first contract after winning their union against a brutal multi-million-dollar union-busting campaign. We're all here today because we want our employers to bargain fairly and in full recognition of our humanity. After all, the crucial work of witnessing and sharing human narratives can only be done by human beings. And that is why we at CIR stand in firm solidarity with SAG-AFTRA today, who are currently on strike and fighting for fair wages and protection against exploitation in the film and television industry. Boston is a union city. And when we all fight together, we win. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Emily Kibbe, and I'm a legislative staffer at the Massachusetts House of Representatives, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the Massachusetts State House Employee Union. To put it simply, I love my job. I get to go to work and help solve real and urgent problems for our constituents. I get to work on policies that help expand the rights and protections for the most vulnerable in our state. And I, with my colleagues, continue to make sacrifices to serve the Commonwealth. And while my work often includes advocating for the rights of others, State House staff continue to be barred from collective bargaining and basic labor protections. With low pay, limited training, and an HR that reports directly to leadership, it's no wonder that most of my colleagues leave within 2 years. These conditions hurt staff, they hurt the legislators we work for, but most of all, they hurt you, our constituents. It has now been 17 months since a majority of Senate staffers signed union authorization cards, a majority we still hold despite significant turnover. In the House, we're more than 2/3 of the way there, and we're still growing. If we worked anywhere but the State House, this would be enough to form a union. That's why we are organizing around 2 bills this fall, H 3069 and S 2014, an act relative to collective bargaining for legislative employees. Put it simply, this bill would give us the right to unionize as most public employees enjoy, including the executive and judicial branch staffers. This Labor Day, we stand with all of you in solidarity and with those who are continuing to struggle for recognition and fair contracts. And if you haven't yet, publicly endorse us. We're incredibly grateful for those who've already come out in support, especially IBEW Local 2222 and Greater Boston Labor Council. But we need your help. Call your legislators this week. Ask them to sign on to H 3069 S 2014, and the bill will have a hearing this fall. And so anyone who's interested in signing up to testify, submitting letters of support, we really appreciate it. So thank you for all your support and have a great Labor Day.
Hello, everybody. My name is Mary Davis. Happy Labor Day. We are proud members of 1199 SEIU Healthcare Worker East here in Massachusetts. We have negotiated a historic win for 58,000 personal care attendants, created and packed at $25 the hour. Struggle has paid off.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day. My name is William Keel. I've been helping people for 20 years now as a PCA. Thanks to our union and the Healey administration, we are on the verge of winning paid training, additional holidays, and yes, retirement. A new chapter of dignity is about to begin. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Maria Castro. Yes, you can. Labor Day for us. We help others every day. Now, we are part of the health team. Dolores Huerta say, every moment is an organization opportunity. Union make us strong, make us strong. When you find, yes, happy Labor Day.
Hi, my name's David Whittingham. I'm an undergraduate student and a resident assistant at Tufts University. I'm here speaking today on behalf of about 150 resident assistants at the university. We're a unit of student workers who work in the residence halls, a unit predominantly composed of people of color and students who are on a lot of financial aid. Many of our students work multiple jobs to pay their way through school, and so we've been pushing for higher compensation for the work that we do. And after 6 months with the university refusing to budge on our proposals, we authorized a strike. And then after a bargaining session in which they refused to make any response to our compensation proposals, we took a 24-hour ULP strike last Tuesday. And then a few days later, we had our most recent bargaining session where they did begin to move on some of our demands. We still have a ways to go, but we've made some progress, and I think that shows the power that our strike have and that strikes can have in general. So, I just want to say thank you to the Greater Boston Labor Council. When we were organizing last year, you met with us and offered us support when we were initially organizing. And during our strike, was really instrumental in marshaling a lot of support from elected officials and from unions in the area. So thank you for all that you do and for all the support that you've given us, and happy Labor Day. Thank you.
My name is Franklin Ortiz, and I am a member of the Massachusetts Teachers Association and the professional staff. At UMass Boston, and I'm also an alum of UMass Boston. I'm here because we need to end high-stakes testing regime and reinvest in our public colleges and universities. In order to do this, we need to pass the Thrive Act and the CHERISH Act. The Thrive Act is a bill that removes the MCAS graduation requirement, eliminates state receiverships, and reinstates democratic control and establishes a commission to create a new whole child system of assessment. The CHERISH Act is a bill that increases wages and working conditions for faculty and staff and provides debt-free public higher education and provides debt-free education and increases student support services and invests in green and healthy campuses. Together, Thrive and Cherish improve working conditions and remove barriers for students. I ask you to join us on September 18 for the Cherish hearing and for October 4th for the Thrive hearing. Please check our table, our materials on our table to learn more and get involved. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim. I'm from Northeastern University, where a majority of the grad students this spring filed to form a union. This September 19th, we're going to have our election after a strong anti-union campaign, and we're going to vote yes to make our lives better. We'll be joining more than 100,000 other academic workers under UAW, and we hope you all have a good Labor Day, and we'll see you on the picket line.
Hello, good morning. My name is Chiara Pichardo, and I'm a proud SAG-AFTRA member for 5 years now. Shout out to my family over there. Our biggest fight right now is for wage increases to keep up with the inflation that we are currently experiencing, fair residuals for our work, and protection for our image from AI. And yes, thank you. And like this banner says behind me, it's better in a union, y'all. I really believe that. I believe in my union, SAG-AFTRA, and I believe it's a fight we're going to win, because when we fight, yes. And one last thing before I go, we will be meeting at the Statler Park right across the street from the hotel right after breakfast for our SAG-AFTRA rally. If you would like to support us, you are more than welcome to come. Thank you.
Now we're going to take some time to acknowledge the elected officials in the room. We're going to start with Boston's own Mayor Michelle Wu. Massachusetts Secretary of Labor Lauren Jones. Our Governor Maura Healey. U.S. Senator Elizabeth Warren. U.S. Senator Ed Markey. Democratic Whip and Congresswoman Catherine Clark. Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. Secretary Bill Gavin. State Rep and Chair Marjorie Decker. Senator and Union Member Lydia Edwards. Our City Council President Ed Flynn. Boston City Councilor Julia Mejia. And Rep. Bill McGregor.
State Rep. Dan Ryan. State Representative Kevin Honan. Boston City Councilor Erin Murphy. Boston City Councilor Ruthie Louis-Jean. Boston City Councilor Liz Braden. Boston City Councilor Sharon Durkin. Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez Anderson. State Rep Carol Doherty. Lowell City Councilor John Drinkwater. Plymouth County Commissioner Greg Hanley. Plymouth County Register of Deeds John Buckley. State Representative Steve Owens. And the President of the Boston NAACP, Tanisha Sullivan. If there is anyone we missed, we are sorry. Please stand up and give a wave, and we will try to spot you from the crowd. Thank you. I cannot see back there, but I think I see Jonathan Paz. I see Jonathan Paz. Come see us. We'll get you at the end. And let's give one other last big shout out to these workers who come up here and tell their stories. Thank you. When we fight.
Welcome, everybody. First, we want to thank all of you for coming, for supporting our group. After 2 years, we have grown to over 800 members in our group, which is amazing.
Look around, sisters. We are here to celebrate us. We made the decision, for most of us, one of the best decisions in our lives, to be a part of the union trade. We are moms, wives, sisters, daughters, aunties, friends, Black, white, Asian, Latina. We are straight, gay, transgendered, non-binary, and still in process with understanding ourselves. So remember, when you see the banner, it's not about the 5 of us, the admins. It's about the 800 plus members that make up Boston Union Trade Sisters.
Meeting other women that I had no idea existed from other locals is really cool. It's important because we're all trying to get somewhere, and it's just good for us to know our sisters.
I think events like this are so important, one, because it shows other states that there are a numerous amount of women that are able and willing to work. Massachusetts is #1 for women in the trades, and I think it's a good example of what needs to happen more often. It just shows us that we're here to stay, and we're constantly growing. This is a place for us to feel special, for us to feel like, wow, like we're important, we're part of this movement that a lot of people don't really know about, that a lot of people don't think actually exists. But we're here and we're here to stay.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Labor Day. My name is Janaea Nelson. I'm a very proud member of Labor's Local 223 of 25 years. Being in the union has taught me about solidarity and the importance of fighting for what's right. 2 years ago, I helped found a Facebook group called Butts, which is the video you just seen before. I was all on board with this group, showing support and dedicating my time to mentoring women entering into the trades. I would also like to shout out to NCTE and Building Pathways for encouraging and showing alliance with community, women, and minorities getting into the trades. I would like to thank 223 for supporting me throughout the years and all the other trades that support women in the trades. With the countless efforts from Butts, the support of my union in the building trades, we were able to have our very first Women Build Boston conference. I'm gonna show a video now.
Today is the Women Build Boston Conference. It's the first one ever here in Boston. I'm here to meet people, to make connections, and to learn.
It's nice to see all the locals and all the women get together today.
This is the first time that we've ever had a lot of women come together. It's amazing today to see and to reach out and to really network with all the sisters.
We are hosting our first, can I hear it? Women Build Boston Conference here at Encore because we built this building. This site has the most female workers recorded in U.S. history.
Look around this room. Hundreds of building trades, trade unionists, and hundreds of our union sisters right here at Encore. We built this place, and we're here to celebrate. Let's hear it for everybody in this room.
Today is about power. How we built it, how we share it, and how we use it to make change.
You need to have in government, in boardrooms, in business, in industry, people that reflect the population. And for far too long, women and people of color have not been represented. And now we have an opportunity to change that.
When we are in the corridors of power, when we are at policy and decision-making tables, we make a difference. The building trades are made stronger by your contributions.
Getting people that are in power at these different locals at the table to talk to the women that work every day and deal with these problems. Things like sexual harassment, know your rights, mental health, leadership roles. There's so many things.
Women in construction don't get enough recognition on the job. I think a big conference like this just kind of makes you reflect on what you do every day. It makes you feel important. It makes you feel like you're welcome here and you can do this.
I want you to understand the magnitude of this day.
This is a moment in time that we need to rise up, and we need to let the whole world know that if you're a woman of color, you grew up in a poor neighborhood, you have nothing in your background, you have an opportunity to get into the building trades, you have an opportunity to raise your family, you have an opportunity to get a good wage, you have an opportunity to run for leadership in your union, you have an opportunity for all that. Let's not forget that. Let's take that out there. And next conference, let's double the size of this room.
So, as we stand together today, let's remember that it's better in a union because we stand strong, undivided, unwavering, and the strides we make today pave the way for our future, where the rights and dignity of workers are at forefront. This video was a small piece of what is yet to come. I ask that you take out your calendars and save the date for our next conference of Women Build Boston.
And that date would be October 28th. Save the date. Thanks, Janaea. Let's give Janaea another round of applause. Okay. Next up, we have a guy that really doesn't need an introduction. No one ever really wants to speak after him, including me. He is just so passionate and full of energy and enthusiasm, and it's definitely not for show. He's the real deal. The real trade unionist who believes in the labor movement with all his heart and has worked his whole life to make sure workers have the respect and dignity and wages and benefits we all deserve. Whether as the local chairman of the Brotherhood of Railway and Airline Clerks back in 1977, or as Massachusetts State Senator for 7 terms starting in 1999, this amazing labor champion has shown us what it means to fight and what it means to win. And on a more personal note, he has been an incredible mentor for me, always ready with strategic advice and unwavering support for me and helping find my own path as a leader in the labor movement. Please welcome the president of the Mass AFL-CIO, Steve Tolman.
Ooh, look at that, huh? Hey, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much, sisters and brothers, siblings, thank you. It's certainly an honor to join you for yet another Labor Day here this morning at the Park Plaza. 100% union built and rehabbed this place. What do you think, huh? 100% union. Sisters and brothers, it's a great honor for me to bring the greetings of our national leaders, National President Liz Schuler and General Secretary Treasurer of the National AFL-CIO, Fred Redmond. And they wanted me to tell you, it's better in a union, sisters and brothers, it's better in a union. And special thanks to Darlene for that great introduction, Darlene. Thank you so much. And to the president of the Greater Boston Labor Council, Lou Mandarini. Brother Lou, thanks for your leadership. Sisters and brothers, today is a special day for the labor movement. It's a day for celebration and a day for reflection. It's a day to be thankful for all of the labor leaders who came before us and paved the way for so many of us. Simple things that we take for granted, whether it's child labor laws, minimum wage, the 40-hour work week, quality benefits in general, health care, or a decent retirement, sisters and brothers. Those are the values that the labor movement fights for day in and day out. And we must be grateful for that. And yes, we must use the lessons of the past to help us win in the future, sisters and brothers. Labor Day is a special day for our entire country. We should pause and reflect and be grateful. And yes, we must use the lessons from the past to help us win in the future. Sisters and brothers, the great trade unionist A. Philip Randolph was a member of the Brotherhood of Railway and Airline Clerks when they merged, the Pullman Porters, and he had a lot of great quotes, but he said it best. He said it best when he said, "Freedom is never given, it is won." Nothing's ever given to the labor movement, sisters and brothers. It's when we stand together and fight for it. Standing together with co-workers in a union makes it a tangible difference. And you can feel that day in and day out. Just think about some of the benefits of being in a union. Just think about it. Workers enjoy a minimum of a 20% difference in pay between their non-union counterparts. We are more likely to have health care benefits. We work safer. In fact, one study showed that in the building trades construction site, a union construction site, there is over 30% less in claims, in injury claims, because we work safer, because we have standards. That's a big issue, 30% less injuries, sisters and brothers. We have more job security, even and especially in a difficult economic time. Now listen to this. There's a new number out, ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers, all siblings in this room. Think of this. 90% of 30 and unders support labor unions. Think of that. That's 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. In fact, more people support unions than actually like vanilla ice cream and chocolate ice cream. They left strawberry out. Can you believe that? That's a fact. Vanilla and chocolate are out. Labor unions are in, brothers and sisters. Times are changing in America. There have been 200 strikes and over 320,000 workers this year. And that's more than 10 times just 2 years ago, sisters and brothers. There are 300 chapters of local Starbucks unions all across America. There were 0 2 years ago, sisters and brothers. It has been a long time since the country has seen organized labor so organized and so prepared. And I tell you, it's because of the leaders in this room that are doing the right thing, sisters and brothers. If you look at our history, it's not surprising. The labor movement is for everyone, and we are the source of hope for every worker, and we must always take that responsibility very serious. That's why this Labor Day we are celebrating and reminding the world it's better in a union. Where are the State House employees who did a great job? It's better in a union. To the legislators, it's better in a union. Every day we fight to leave our communities better and our workplaces safer for our members, sisters and brothers. We fight to level the playing field for working people. That is who we are. Whether it's elected union-friendly politicians working to pass legislation, legislative priorities right up on Beacon Hill, or whether it's securing the votes addressed in a ballot initiative. We are really working toward one goal, sisters and brothers, And that goal is to save the middle class, to build the middle class, and to make sure the middle class has a decent retirement. This Labor Day, sisters and brothers, I come to you with a cautionary tale of the future of work. Everything we stand for is under attack. Everything we stand for, sisters and brothers, is under attack by greedy CEOs, app-based companies, artificial intelligence, and anything else that they can do to increase their profits and screw the workers. Now I want everyone in this room, you've all heard of, my God, I've lost it. I've lost my speech. Income inequality. Have you all heard of income inequality, huh? Now look it. I want everyone in the room to count to 7 with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In that time, sisters and brothers, 7 seconds, Jeff Bezos, the head of Amazon, made more money than the average salaried employee at Amazon on a yearly basis. I don't have to ask you if you think that's right. Sisters and brothers, that is outrageous. That is unacceptable in America. And we gotta do something about it. God. Now I gotta see where the heck I am here. In too many industries, gig work has replaced the status quo for good jobs. In too many cases, think of this, folks are working multiple jobs just to make ends meet. Sisters and brothers, do you think one job should be enough? Artificial intelligence should help us do our jobs. It should listen to us. And it also should improve the work we do, not replace it. Sisters and brothers, artificial intelligence must have standards. Most importantly, it must have ethics. Without it, we will be annihilated, sisters and brothers. That is what we all must be fighting for. Look across the nation, watch the news, follow social media, sisters and brothers. The future of work is under attack by greedy corporations. You see it in the SAG-AFTRA strike with the Writers Guild of America as well. Greedy corporations want to pay actors a reduced day's pay and then profit off of what they do forever. Do you think that's right? We will stand, this room will stand with SAG-AFTRA one day longer, right? We must stand with them because they are standing with us. When we, sisters and brothers, we need to make sure that our partners in the state are passing laws to protect workers from the threats of innovation. And if the elected officials aren't doing it, sisters and brothers, it's up to us to elect our friends that will stand up for us. Now, as many of you know, this is my last Labor Day as president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO. And from my 23 years on the railroad, 17 years in the legislature, in the last 12 years as president of the Massachusetts AFL-CIO, I consider myself a very lucky guy, having the ability, the trust of each and every one of you, standing beside you, with you on the struggles that we faced over the last 12 years. And I am truly honored for that privilege. While my time as a leader in the labor movement is coming to an end, I could not be more excited for the new generation of labor leaders that will be moving us forward. The staff at the AFL-CIO works very hard, day in and day out, on behalf of 500,000 of our members. And I am confident, after I leave, the strong foundation of young, tough leaders will grow our movement and ensure that the labor movement continues to grow the middle class, sisters and brothers. We all know that we are strongest when we are united. And we've heard it so many times here today, baby. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. When we fight, we win. And we all know that we are strong. When we are strongest, that is when we are successful. So I say from the bottom of my heart to all of you out there, it has truly been an honor to work with all of you. And let me tell you something, ours is a great labor movement. Let's go out and make it better, sisters and brothers. That's the end. Thank you. Ayanna, first one up. Woo! My Congresswoman. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now listen. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, on your tables, there are bumper stickers, and I gotta tell you, put them on your car for the rail link. John Bussinger told me if I don't say it, he'll never talk to me again. And it was very tempted not to bring it up. My brother John, who worked so hard on the rail link. Ladies and gentlemen, sisters and brothers and siblings, I want to recognize someone who, like me, has been in the labor movement for a long time. A long time. He has given his heart and soul every single day as a leader of our movement. Lou Mandarini served honorably as the Massachusetts AF. Hey, attention please, this is real important. Lou Mandarini. Lou Mandarini is the best thing since sliced bread. How's that, huh? He has given his heart and soul to everything he's done in our movement. Lou has served honorably in the Massachusetts Secretary-Treasurer since 2005, 12 of those years beside me. And he was my partner in everything we did in decision-making and leadership. He's been a constant force in the building trades. Every role he could do, he would do. He would always be standing with integrity. He has served as a bridge builder for several labor organizations when they had disputes with mayors throughout the state. For over the years, when many unions were at an impasse, Lou found a way to reach a compromise. He was our very own diplomat. Lou has been a member, a mentor to so many young trade unionists everywhere in this room. Lou accomplished all of this activity on top of his day-to-day job as the business manager of Local 22 of the Laborers Union. Let me tell you, sisters and brothers, nobody better, nobody more committed. And like me, he stepped down just a year ago in most of his jobs, and Lou is kind of wrapping it up. So I say thank you, Lou, for being my partner for 12 years. Thank you for your leadership, Lou, for your mentorship, and most importantly for me, Lou, thank you for your friendship. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor of Lou's dedication, his solidarity and service, everyone in this room, and the victories he has helped win for workers from every sector we have a brief video to show, and I think it's ready to go.
Lou's impact's been very extraordinary. Sits on many boards, wears many different hats.
He was the treasurer for the state building trades, the treasurer for the AFL-CIO.
Besides running Local 22 laborers, he was president of the Labor Council.
Heading up the funds for the laborers and the training programs and a whole host of other positions. And of course the core being business managers of Laborers Local 22 and doing all of them well.
I would say Lou's legacy is Massachusetts still has a very relevant labor movement, a strong labor movement, and very few people have contributed as much as Lou because he was his selflessness when he's willing to take on these different positions in the labor movement.
He leads by example. He talks the talk, but he walks the walk. And he's fiercely loyal and smart and strategic, and he inspires me every day.
When you talk to Lou or you talk of Lou, a proverb usually comes to my mind is if you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
We're more respected as a whole because of him, and I'm proud to be a laborer because of what he's done.
I worked with Louis for 25 years, got the opportunity to come in here, came in to help for a month and ended up staying. His devotion to this local is amazing. He helps everybody.
What a great legacy he had, because he was married to this local. You know, I enjoyed being around him. He was good.
I think Louis set up labor for the future. He did a wonderful thing. He mapped out the way that we should go. But one thing I noticed about Louis, he don't want us to stay where we at now. He wants us to elevate.
Yeah, he's been a union man since he was a kid. I think the union probably drives him.
You know, Lou had a hard, rough exterior, but he's a soft, kind man. He's done a lot for us. He's brought us to the forefront of the labor movement.
Well, Louis, I'm here to say congratulations, and I wish you the best. I really do.
Lou, I'm proud to call you a friend. You've done great for us. I just want to say now it's your time, and enjoy it.
I just want to say congratulations, Louis, to your retirement. I thank you for everything that you did for me and my family, this local, and even outside of the local. And if it wasn't for you, Louis, I wouldn't be the man that I am. And I thank God that you always instill with us that we all family.
Louis, I wish you all the best. I want to thank you for the opportunity to work for this local, and I wish you nothing but happiness.
You've been my boss, my mentor, a friend. I wish you only the best, Lou, in your retirement. Congratulations, and my hat's off to you. Enjoy your retirement, Lou. Thank you.
Over the last 11 years, we've accomplished a lot together, and I am forever, forever grateful to Lou for believing in what we could do together, for his principled leadership, and most of all, for his friendship. Thank you, Lou.
Congratulations, Lou.
Now, very much like all of us in this room, there's another big fan of Lou's. Sisters and brothers, let's give it up for Senator Elizabeth Warren, who wants to say a few words, and she's up for election next year. Let's give it up for Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Hello, Labor. I know we're engaged in many fights together, and we're going to talk more about those, but this is the moment in the program to remember, to honor, and to celebrate. First, to Steve. This is his last breakfast as the president of the AFL. I hope we'll have many more opportunities to celebrate your leadership. But I want to say how grateful I am for your partnership, for your friendship. You mean the world to me, and you mean the world to all of us. One more round of applause for Steve Coleman. And Lou, so We just showed you a video. We're going to tell more of our favorite stories. The more opportunities we get and the more we drink, that will happen. I know you hate being at the center of attention, but we're going to make you sit through this anyway. When I first ran for office, I knew a lot about law. I knew a lot about policy. I knew a lot about being a teacher, and I knew absolutely nothing about being a politician. I had many people to guide me along the way, but Lou, you were one of my best teachers. Lou knows how to do everything, from mapping out a strike strategy to baking the world's most wicked apple pie. But the most important thing about Lou is that he fights from the heart. We are here today, Lou, out of respect for all you've done. We're here out of love for how much you've cared. We are here to say how grateful we are for all the help that you have given to us and to everyone else who has been in the fight for working people across our Commonwealth and across this great nation of ours. This is our thank you. We love you, Lou. Come on up and talk to us.
The President of the Greater Boston Labor Council, Lou Mandarini.
It's one heck of a tribute, huh? Look, I'm not a lot on words. I was always considered myself the guy behind the scene, the guy to get it done. But there are some people here that I'd really like to thank. And you know, when we first started this Greater Boston Labor Council, I started as president. I had a secretary treasurer, Tony Romano, and taught me a lot. But then I had another partner, Richie Rogers. And as you saw in the video, he did a lot. He moved this council. And now we turned it over to Darlene. But, you know, as you reflect, you retire, and you think about, I've been a member of the AFL-CIO since 1978. Long time. And I've seen a lot, and I'm really proud of what I see out here today, the solidarity, the group, you people are together. You get it. You get the message. And we win as one. We do. You know, there's people I have to thank. I had a partner for 12 years, Steve and I. We worked together at the AFL-CIO with a great staff of people. And I'm really glad that we're turning it over to a new group, and we're turning it over better than what we got it, and I know that they're going to do better than what we did. It's most important, and that's one of the things you should do. You know, I didn't write anything, but there's a lot of people I have to thank. This woman to the right of me, I mean, you know, you talk about an accomplishment that this Greater Boston Labor did. What she didn't tell you is that when she came to speak the first time, nobody knew who Elizabeth Warren was. And that summer before, and I can tell you a quick story. My son, he'd be at dinner. He says, "Dad, you got to talk to this woman. You got to talk to this woman." You know, every day we grinded it out. And finally I says, "Okay, we'll meet." We met. Well, I'll tell you something. One of the proudest accomplishments that we did in the state of Massachusetts, but the Greater Boston Labor Council, was electing her as U.S. Senator of the United States. But over the years, I look around, battles, Catherine, from a state rep to a U.S. Congresswoman, second in charge. I mean, Michelle, same thing. Maura, I mean, this labor movement, we've done our job. We've put the people here. So, again, you know, I want to thank you people, because without you people, we wouldn't be the people that we are. And with that, I just want to say thank you very much.
Lou, it's been so wonderful to have you, the President of the Labor Council. That video came from our hearts, from the love of your local and from the love of the Labor Council. Let's give Lou another round of applause, please.
I have the great honor of introducing our next speaker. This is a person who's one of the most strategic minds in the building trade unions and across labor. He works tirelessly to make sure that every job in the construction industry is a good union job, and he works to make sure that everyone has access to them. He is on the front lines of making sure that women and people of color, underrepresented groups in the trades, have opportunities and have completely diversifying the face of the labor movement and the building trades. He has been a major force implementing these policies through our project labor agreements and in collective bargaining agreements. He's someone who works tirelessly for his local and for everybody inside his local and beyond. And on a personal note, I can tell you firsthand, he eats, sleeps, and breathes this labor movement. He is a champion for all of us. Let's have a big round of applause for the business manager of IBEW Local 103, Lou Antonellis.
Brian, you suck, all right, buddy? Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Dee, for that warm introduction. And for all of you in the Boston labor movement, I couldn't be more proud to co-labor with every single one of you out there. Happy Labor Day, brothers and sisters. Happy Labor Day, brothers and sisters. Woo! Yeah. I'm so glad to be here with all of you this morning. I can't imagine being anywhere else on Labor Day than in the greatest union city in this country with the greatest movement in the labor movement with all of you. So thank you for letting me be here. I'm Lou Antonellis. I'm the business manager of IBEW 103, and a shout out to my friends and members that are here. I couldn't do anything that I do without all of you. You guys are my rock and my backbone, and without this team that we have in place, there wouldn't be anybody. I love you. It's been great to see so many workers take the stage today and speak out against worker injustice. We heard from workers across many industries whose organizing stories continue to inspire us all. And to our leader and our great friend, Darlene Lombos, as she continues doing the vital work to keep our movement united and strong. Darlene, we're so thankful to you and your team for what you're doing today and every day to elevate workers and to amplify their voices. Thank you, we love you. Of course, I have the great privilege of following a very special tribute to a great labor leader and a great friend in Lou Mandarini. Lou, thank you so much. You've been a great friend to me personally and to my local union throughout the years, and you've been an inspiration to all of us, so thank you very much. As it was said earlier, public support for unions is at a 50-year high, and the number of workers in this country lining up to join a union has never been higher. And 88% of workers under the age of 30 support being in the labor movement, support being in the union. And that's many of the people that are in this room today. The young folks are going to carry us forward, and I couldn't be more appreciative. And for the first time in decades, it seems that labor's political stars have finally aligned. From the White House to the State House to Boston City Hall, our elected friends are leveling the playing field to ensure that workers have a real shot at the true American dream. Fairness and respect, thank you. Fairness and respect for working people is back at all levels of government, and it's stronger than ever. The White House is occupied by the most pro-union administration in the history of the United States. On Beacon Hill, Governor Maura Healey is keeping her commitment to ensure workers have a seat at the table. She's moving us forward with policies and practices that gives workers economic freedom through the power of a union. And at City Hall, thank you. And at City Hall, Mayor Wu believes that green jobs must be union jobs. As the city goes electric, the power will remain with union workers through guaranteed equity and security that comes with a union contract. Mayor, do you like what I did there? The power, green jobs, workers? And while anti-union and pro-privatization forces are lining up to plant a flag right here in the city of Boston, Mayor Michelle Wu is standing up, she's showing up, and she's pushing back. And she's made it very clear that Boston is and always will be a union city. Because Mayor Wu supports equal access to apprenticeship training, she supports union-backed child care programs for all who seek a great career in a union building trades apprenticeship program, and she and her team are working tirelessly to make life better for workers in the city of Boston in so many ways. And as being from a local union that continues to set the bar high through efforts on diversity, equity, and inclusion, I've had the distinct pleasure to work very closely with Mayor Wu and to hear her vision for the city, a vision where worker justice is championed and supported by all that hope to organize and represent workers here in the city of Boston. We appreciate having a friend, a partner, and a strong, powerful advocate on the 5th floor at Boston City Hall. Brothers and sisters, it is my esteemed honor and privilege to welcome and introduce our great friend, the Mayor of Boston, Michelle Wu.
Good morning, Union City. Happy Labor Day. Thank you so much, Lou, for all of your leadership and partnership, and to all of the esteemed guests here today. I want to thank President Tolman, Executive Secretary Treasurer Darlene Lombos, Vice President Brian Doherty, all the members, partners, and guests of the Greater Boston Labor Council, our partners in elected office, union leaders, and especially the workers who keep our city running every single day. I want to echo the deep respect, awe, and gratitude for our friend Lou Mandarini, who's enjoying a well-earned retirement after more than 50 years with Labor's Local 22. Since before I started my political career, you've been a mentor and a guide and a trusted advisor and someone who I could call when I could call no one else, and I will never forget that, Lou. We won't let you off the hook, even though we'll miss you in this current role. I know you're going to be right on speed dial still on vocational education, Madison Park, and so many other issues, so thank you for everything. And before I dive in, I also want to just make sure we all thank and recognize the members of Local 26 who are serving us today with this delicious breakfast, an incredible event. For many of us, today's a day to celebrate organized labor, but for many members of Local 26, today and this event is a work event, and so a huge thank you to all the servers and staff for making it possible. As you've heard and seen, this has been an eventful year in the labor movement nationally and locally. The Writers Guild and SAG-AFTRA launched major strikes in California and beyond, kicking off labor's long, hot summer. Fulfilling his promise as president of the Teamsters, Boston's own Sean O'Brien led a generational organizing effort inside the union, crisscross the country, and delivered the best contract that that union has seen in decades. And here in Boston, at Mass General Brigham, the Council of Interns and Residents won 75% of the vote, organizing the first union in the hospital's history. Thank you to all of the workers who were up here a little bit earlier, representing every major industry in Boston's economy and community. We stand with you. It's clear that the labor movement here and nationally has momentum. But even with this resurgence, the movement can't succeed alone. Worker centers can't succeed alone, and workers themselves shouldn't be forced to defend their rights alone. In Boston, too many workers continue to find themselves in unsafe environments. Too many workers continue to be exploited because no one has ever shared what their basic rights are. And too many workers don't know how to access the agencies that can help them. But relying on the federal government or the state often isn't enough, because institutions that have several layers between themselves and our workers aren't getting directly to the ground. That's why city government, in partnership with unions, has such a unique and powerful role to play in protecting workers' rights. We are committed to being the best city in the country for workers and working families here in Boston. That's right. And we're committed to leaving nothing on the table when it comes to supporting our workers across sectors, trades, neighborhoods, and industries. That means applying the power and scope of city purchasing and contracting to drive fair and equitable labor standards all across Boston. It means ending exploitation where it's happening and stopping it everywhere else before it starts. And above all, it means keeping our workers safe. We're doing everything in our power to ensure that every worker in Boston can go to work confident that they'll clock out at the end of the day and head home to their families, healthy and well. To make all these things true, last year we created the City of Boston's first ever Cabinet of Worker Empowerment. Under the leadership of Cabinet Chief Trin Nguyen, we have been establishing fair and equitable labor standards, promoting awareness of workers' rights, guaranteeing worker safety on the job, and doing much more. The creation of that cabinet was more than just delivering on a promise. It was about doing something the city had never done before, putting the full energy and attention of Boston's labor department behind protecting and advancing the rights of workers citywide. Over this last year, we've been executing on all those fronts. To ensure labor standards that are fair and dignified, we broadened coverage of the city's jobs, living wage, and prevailing wage ordinance that sets the wage for City of Boston contract workers. This summer, that living wage increased from $16.38 an hour to $17.55 an hour, applying to more than 700 contractors and vendors and over 5,000 workers, more than 2,000 Boston residents, and nearly 4,000 workers of color. To equip and empower workers to stand up for their rights, the Cabinet has partnered with our Office of Immigrant Advancement and Worker Centers to launch a series of Know Your Rights training sessions for immigrant workers in English, Spanish, Haitian Creole, and Brazilian Portuguese. 96 workers attended the first training, and moving forward, we'll partner with the Attorney General's Office and OSHA to host pop-up Know Your Rights clinics to make on-site referrals to those same agencies even easier. And because we believe safety from exploitation isn't the goal, it's the baseline, we've also hosted 4 small group wage negotiation workshops. Workers don't just deserve to not be bled dry, they deserve to be fully valued and fairly compensated. Most importantly, to protect the lives of our workers, the Cabinet led the creation of a construction safety ordinance that will take effect later this year. Thank you to the members of the Boston City Council for passing this ordinance. In direct response to a series of accidents that occurred in 2022, this ordinance will require contractors and builders to submit safety plans as part of the permit application for any building over 50,000 square feet and for demolition projects in buildings with 4 or more stories. That means for the roughly 45,000 projects that the City of Boston's Inspectional Services Department permits each year, every single one will have to have a project-specific site safety plan detailing the training in place to protect workers and including all potential on-site hazards and safety procedures, updated annually or if conditions on the site change. But we know that workers, sorry, it's clapping, yes. But we know that worker safety isn't solved by creating more paperwork. That's why the ordinance also requires that all permit holders train every worker on the site safety plan in the language that they speak, with an overview of the hazards they might encounter, and on the procedures and equipment necessary to stay safe. For bigger projects, a site safety coordinator with 30 hours of OSHA training is required to be on site at all times. Too often in situations like these, the city comes up with a bunch of new requirements, asks employers to figure it out, and then shows up to enforce after things were supposed to happen but then didn't. We're not interested in that either, because our priority isn't being able to point to something to say we did it. It's actually keeping our workers safe. So we're partnering with contractors, especially small and medium-sized contractors, to ensure they have the tools and resources to develop smart plans for safety, but also to follow through and execute on them. We're providing OSHA 30 trainings for free in multiple languages to ensure there's no barriers to compliance. And we're proud to report that already more than 40 City of Boston staff have already received this OSHA 30 training ahead of the ordinance taking effect. And we're ready to do more. That's why I'm excited to announce the Worker Cabinet's next major project, a wage theft ordinance. In the coming months, our administration will work with unions and advocates in this room, alongside immigrant rights groups, legal aid groups, state and federal agencies, and produce an ordinance that puts the City of Boston on the side of ensuring that workers get paid. Especially in this moment, Boston must lead the way for working families. We know that to build the best city in the nation for workers, we need to start by being the best city with our own internal labor practices in city government. That has driven our decisions and innovations inside City Hall. We created a dedicated people operations cabinet to give our workforce the attention it deserves, revised our parental leave policy to cover more family types and include leave for pregnancy loss. We're piloting the city's first ever visa sponsorship program to support and retain workers who are seeking continued work authorization. And we're making commuting easier for our staff, offering a 65% subsidy on public transit passes and free Blue Bike memberships. We're proud of all this, but we know it doesn't mean much if our workers don't get paid when they're supposed to get paid and don't get raises when they're supposed to get raises. When we first took office, all 48 of the City of Boston's bargaining units had expired contracts, an unprecedented situation following an already shatteringly disruptive several years for city workers who were on the front lines of the pandemic. My first commitment was to ensure that we would do all that we could as quickly as we could to try to settle all these contracts with the wages and benefits that our city workforce deserves. Last night, we took another major step forward towards delivering on that commitment. As Local 718 President Sam Dillon nicely teed up, we have some news to share. Yesterday, we reached a tentative deal with the Boston Firefighters Local 718. Pending ratification, this tentative agreement is a result of months of staying at the table together, bargaining, focused on what our city needs, what our communities need, and what the brave individuals who keep them safe need every day. This is also a testament to our administration's unflagging focus on settling all of our contracts. Thank you to all of our firefighters for what you do every day. Thank you to our entire city workforce. I also want to give a shout out to all those who have been helping us get through these 48 contracts on the city side, our incredible Office of Labor Relations and Senior Advisor for Labor, Lou Mandarini, the other Lou Mandarini. As we settle all these contracts, and we're 90% of the way there, and when we have a fresh cycle that won't expire for 3 more years, our administration will stay on top of them and do whatever it takes to never allow a contract to expire without another contract that's ready to go. We're making Boston a city for everyone, and that means being the greatest city for labor, leaving behind the practice of reacting to labor issues only when they arise, and instead proactively seeking ways to protect workers' rights and improve workers' lives in partnerships with all of our unions. It means leading by example and taking care of our own. And it means recognizing that our own encompasses all workers in our city, workers without whom this city simply could not function. So I want to thank every leader, every union, every worker in this room for all that you do for each other, for the movement, and the service you provide every day for our families and communities in Boston. Happy Labor Day.
Thank you, Mayor Wu. Let's hear it one more time for Mayor Wu and that incredible speech for workers' rights. I have the great honor of introducing our next speaker, someone who has worked for the Massachusetts AFL-CIO almost her entire career, except for when she came over to help us at the Boston Building Trade Unions. We saw firsthand the commitment, the dedication, the devotion to everything that the labor movement stands for. She is a champion for workers' rights. She's a champion for unions. Let's hear from Massachusetts AFL-CIO Secretary-Treasurer, Chrissy Lynch.
Good morning, sisters, brothers, siblings, allies, friends. My name is Chrissy Lynch. I am very honored to be the Secretary-Treasurer and Chief of Staff at the Massachusetts AFL-CIO and a proud member of OPIU Local 6 and Labor's Local 22. I'm also deeply honored to be introducing the Governor of Massachusetts. We haven't had a governor to our annual breakfast in about a decade, so this is very special. We finally have someone back in the corner office who understands how crucial equity and centering the voices of working people in all public policy decisions are. We finally have someone back in the corner office who shares the labor movement's values, someone who knows that the best way to grow the middle class is to organize more people into unions and to protect and strengthen the laws that improve the lives of working people. We finally have somebody in the corner office who understands that our democracy is better in a union. She understands that unions represent the best united front we have to protect and strengthen the progress we've made, not just on workers' rights, but on civil rights, on voting rights, and on racial justice. We have a governor who understands the importance of having labor at the table from the jump, because she understands that labor is a stakeholder in everything that government touches. That's why we worked so hard last year to talk to tens of thousands of union members about why Maura Healey was the best choice for working people for governor. We talked to members on the doors, on the phones, at the job sites. We now have Maura as our governor. She's also the first woman ever elected governor of Massachusetts. She's the first openly LGBTQ person ever elected to governor of Massachusetts. And just like our Boston Union Trade sisters, we have a badass governor who is breaking barriers, shattering glass ceilings, and always making sure that her administration's support for the labor movement is front and center, not just in the pictures, but in the policies. Thank you, Governor, for your commitment to working people. it is my honor to call up our governor, my friend, Maura Healey.
No, it's not wherever I want to go. I go where Chrissy Lynch and the AFL-CIO tell me to go. Well, good morning and happy Labor Day to everyone. Chrissy, thank you so much. Thank you for your partnership, for your leadership. It's been awesome working with you for so many years. It's going to continue to be awesome working with you and the team. And I thank you for everything that you do, and in particular, you know, all the help you've provided to our administration here in the first half. Really appreciate it. Wow, it is so great to be here this morning to celebrate the resilience, the power of working people in Massachusetts, a labor movement that is strong and getting stronger every single day. I want to begin by thanking a few folks. President Steve Tolman. Steve, you have been the fiercest advocate I know when it comes to the needs of working families all across this country. You bleed that, you wear it on your sleeve, you bring it every single day, and I just want to say thank you for that, and also thank you for the incredible friendship that you have given to me over the years, the incredible partnership, just the loyalty, the trust, the communication, the collaboration. I can't thank you enough, Steve, for all of that and for the kind of leader that you are. And we know you're not going far, but you deserve a break too. So thank you, Steve Tolman, for everything. And to our friend Lou Mandarini. Lou, I want to get more information on the apple pie. I could use some help there in that department. But in all seriousness, you have been, you know, right there at the table when all decisions, important political decisions were made, getting behind people, getting them over the finish line and elected. And, you know, your record speaks for itself. So we wish you all the best. We also know you are not going far, and I know personally I'll be able to pick up the phone and call you frequently for advice and counsel on so many fronts as we confront challenging times. But I just want to say thank you, Lou, and you deserve all the best. And I also thought it was special to hear both Steve and Lou talk about succession and legacy, what they've built on, and I think that's something that all of us, no matter what capacity we're in, are looking to do, looking to leave things a little bit better than when we got here. And both of you gentlemen have done just that and so much more. It's why it's great to be here today. We celebrate with Chrissy, celebrate with Darlene Lambos. You know, so many people, so many leaders that you've helped nurture and bring along. So thank you for that. Thank you also to the members of Unite Here, Local 26, IATSE Local 11, Community Labor United, everyone working today to make today possible. I know we're really lucky to be represented by this incredible federal delegation. Sorry for you could see we were actually trying to get some business done over there in the corner. No disrespect intended, but it was all in furtherance of working families here and across this country. Big shout out to our senators, Elizabeth Warren and Ed Markey, and of course the indomitable, indefatigable Catherine Clark, who is we're so proud of Catherine and everything she is doing. It's a privilege to work alongside her and our federal delegation, including, of course, our fabulous Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley. All of them taking the fight every day on behalf of working people to Washington. So many state legislators are here, city councilors, so many people in elected office from across this area, and that's just such a credit to this movement, what you represent and who you are. Fabulous words from our mayor, Michelle Wu. It's been great to work in partnership with our fabulous mayor, and it will continue to be as we move forward, and we thank her for her leadership. I also want to thank and just acknowledge a special table that's not too far in front of me, and that is the members of the Attorney General's office. I love the Attorney General's office report. To all the folks in the Fair Labor Division, thank you for the work that you do, that you continue to do. You make us all so, so proud. And to members of our current team in the administration, Kim Driscoll and I have the pleasure of working with so many people committed to workers' rights, committed to supporting unions. That includes folks who are here today, our Secretary of Labor and Workforce Development, Lauren Jones. Roger Brunell, who's our Senior Advisor for Labor and Workforce Engagement in our Office of Federal Funds and Infrastructure. And also to the members of SAG-AFTRA, all the workers who are fighting for your rights. We see you guys here. We saw others of you outside. You know, we honor you and your courage, and we stand with you in this fight. And I have to say, a very special happy Labor Day to more than 44,000 state employees who are the ones that make us go. I'm not confused by that. This Commonwealth runs not on Dunkin's. It runs on the hard work of the men and women, many of whom I have the privilege of serving with in state government. 44,000 state employees who make possible everything that we do in government. And I just want to thank them. A year ago, I stood here as a candidate, and you all stood with me, and with your support, we made history. I want to thank you for proving that worker power moves us forward in every way. That's why in Massachusetts, every day is Labor Day. And I want you to know, we're an administration that sees that believes that supports that. Because we believe in a simple truth. A strong Massachusetts, which I am so invested in making and creating and furthering as your governor, a strong Massachusetts depends on strong workers, period. Workers who are well-trained, well-treated, and yes, well-paid. Workers with good family-sustaining jobs, workers who live in and look like every community in this state. Now, that should be obvious, but we know for some it isn't. But I want you to know I've seen it up close. You know, as Attorney General for 8 years, my team and I, we fought for workers who've been exploited, abused, harassed, had their jobs misclassified, wages stolen, benefits denied. But we stood together and we fought back time and time again, and we won. And that work continues in the Attorney General's office. Now, as governor, with Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll, with Secretary Lauren Jones, and I want you to know across our entire administration, we are putting workers and their families first in everything that we do. In our first state budget, we paid off student loans for thousands of behavioral health workers. We made community college free for all students aged 25 and older through our new Mass Reconnect program. We made school lunches permanently free for all public school students. We're investing nearly $4 million to support 1,000 new diverse new placements in registered apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship programs, many in partnership with unions represented here today. At the same time, we're investing in workers who make our government run. We recognize that the last couple of years of inflation have hit everybody really hard. So we worked really hard in our first budget in partnership with many of you, and here's what we were able to do. We passed a one-year 8% increase for the majority of our state's employees. We're prioritizing our partnerships with labor because labor is essential to meeting every critical goal that we share. For example, working with NAGE to team up to make sure we had the staff at the RMV to meet the demand of the Work and Family Mobility Act. I can tell you that because of that partnership and because of the work of NAGE and others, we have thousands of hardworking immigrants getting driver's licenses today. Thousands. Moving our economy forward. I don't know if somebody's trying to send me a signal, but I'm going to keep talking. Let me talk to you about the Carmen's Union. I knew coming in that we had this issue with the T. I also knew our way through it was through a strong and supported workforce. We needed to hire and to retain more workers if we were going to have a transit system that meets the needs of our residents and what our economy requires. So last month, the T and Local 589 signed a new 4-year contract covering the majority of the T's frontline workers. It includes a total 18% wage increase, the biggest raise at the T in over a quarter of a century, as well as benefits, bonuses, ways to attract and retain a workforce. And I want to thank Jimmy Evers, as well as GM Phil Ang for their collaboration in this deal. I got to tell you, why does it matter? Because the results. We've had a more than 350% increase in bus driver applications and nearly a 200% increase in trolley driver applications since we did that deal. It matters. And since last July, the T's hired more than 120 new workers into good union jobs. That's what happens when you raise pay from among the lowest in the nation to the highest in the nation. We faced a challenge, we partnered, we worked together, and we got it done. And I'm here to say we need to lean into these partnerships now more than ever for the well-being of our residents and the well-being of our state, which I believe so deeply in. It's a critical time in our country's history, a moment of profound challenges. And those of us who can work together and lead us forward, we're going to be the winners. And I know if you hang with me, we work together, we can do so much. From climate change and the clean energy transition, to affordable housing and the cost of living, to racial equity and economic justice. Nothing is more important to our success than the strength of our workforce. Now, the federal government, thanks to the Biden-Harris administration and the leadership of our congressional delegation, has made historic investments in infrastructure, clean energy and resilience, advanced manufacturing, and medical innovation. Much of it is through competitive federal funding. And some of you know me, I'm a little bit of a competitor. So when I got elected, I set out to make sure that we were in position to compete for every single federal dollar. And we're doing that in partnership with all of you. Now, that's why I created this new Office of Federal Funds and Infrastructure. Never existed before, to bring focus and attention, collaboration with all of you, and to make sure that we're doing all we can. Whether it's rebuilding Cape Cod bridges, the Alston Multimodal Project, advancing our lead in offshore wind energy, retrofitting affordable housing through our new climate bank. These are opportunities to grow our economy, to protect and connect our communities, and advance environmental justice. They are also opportunities to create so many more great paying union jobs. And that's why I want to make the most of this, because everyone will benefit. Everyone will be lifted up. Our families, our economy, Massachusetts will be so much stronger. And whatever state gets it together and partners the best is going to win. And I don't intend to lose working with all of you. We're aligned right now. We're aligned with the Biden-Harris administration. We need to make the most of all of that. We're leading, too, in our recognition of PLAs. We've talked a lot about this before. PLAs protect the taxpayer's investment. and ensure high-quality results. They allow us to build diverse apprenticeship pipelines right into a project and so much more. So I want to recognize the Building Pathways program, the policy group on trades women's issues, Boston Union Trade Sisters, and the unions who are doing this work. You're removing barriers for women and workers of color by supporting childcare, transportation, mentorship, and so much more. And you're proving that a union job is still the most surefire way out of poverty and into the middle class that has ever been invented in this country. So let's keep our focus on expanding opportunity, on creating and furthering a competitive advantage. Let's make sure that we leave nothing on the field and no one on the sidelines, right? Let's be creating opportunities that lift families into the middle class and make us a more equitable, affordable, and competitive state. I know the grit, the resilience, the dedication, the hard work of the men and women in this room. I've seen it day after day. And I know that it's the same grit and also compassion that is motivating working people across this state. That's why I know we can do this. We can bring opportunity to every community. We can lead this country forward. We have the values, we have the people, and working together, we have the power. I'll tell you that. And you do have an administration that believes in you, and more than that, welcomes you to the table and so much more. I want to thank you for your support. I want to thank you for your work. And I want to thank you in advance for the kick-ass things that we're going to do in this state that are going to move an economy forward, that are going to move families forward, that are going to lift people up in ways we never have seen or imagined before. My money is on Massachusetts. I am always with unions and the labor movement. Thank you all, and happy, happy Labor Day. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, please. Wait, not yet. Oh, sorry.
No.
Okay. So, listen, this morning it doesn't happen by accident. It takes commitment, it takes hard work. Let's thank again the members of Hotel Workers Local 26 who helped us put this on today, and IATSE. And remember, we make decent money in unions. There's no better way to show appreciation than leaving a few bucks on the table as a good tip to the men and women who served us all day long. Let's see those pockets. Hey, the second thing I want to say that is no accident is the fact that we are a union city. And the fact that it's because we have fighters in this room and fighters across the city that are going to keep Boston a union town. And I have the great honor of this personal privilege of thanking our union sister and our great union labor leader in Darlene Lombos for putting on this whole project this morning. Let's hear it for Darlene. Thank you, Darlene. You're a fucking awesome kid. Yeah, hell yeah. Standing ovation, sister. No. I'm going to turn it over to Dee now. Let's hear it for Dee. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We actually have one more speaker. Don't worry, it's going to be a call to action. Yeah. Because we're not done after this breakfast. We're going to go hit the streets. So to do that, we want to invite a proud unionist, local actor Michelle Proud. Oh, her name's woo, woo, woo. Michelle is the National Vice President of Midsize Locals for SAG-AFTRA. She has been local president and New England board member and SAG-AFTRA member for nearly 2 decades. Please welcome Michelle Proud.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you. Sisters, brothers, siblings, and allies, thank you. My name is Michelle Proud, and I am a SAG-AFTRA actor. This is what we look like. It might not be what you'd expect. You keep hearing about these big Hollywood actors, but really it's us, your neighbors, your friends, your PTO moms. Our employers, the Alliance of Motion Pictures and Television Producers, or the AMPTP, but you know them as the studios and streamers. And while Netflix recorded a second quarter operating profit of $1.8 billion, that's billion with a B, approximately 86% of our members don't clear the $26,000 earnings to qualify for benefits in a year. We're just regular people like you who do a job and expect to be fairly compensated. I'm going to just take one quick minute here to go through why are we on strike? I mean, it might not be a relatable concept, actors on strike. So I want to briefly break it down to our issues. Number one, in our world, we're not only the labor, we're actually the product. So it's our likeness and craft that they are selling. Our contracts protect how and when they can use our likeness. And with artificial intelligence on the rise, AI, computers are being trained to replicate human behavior by inputting samples of existing digital copies. We already have actors who are being scanned on sets, and they have no clear understanding of how or where their image is going to be used. We can't stop the wheels of progress. We're not asking to. We said to the studios and streamers, we just want some rules around this. And we want our members to have consent before this happens. And the studios and streamers said, no. You may recall when the pandemic started, that terrifying time when everything was shut down and everybody turned to us, to entertainment, to streaming, to get through those dark days of shutdown. People got streaming services in record numbers. In fact, if you take a second and think about what you binged during that time, now we're not going to say it out loud because we're not going to break the strike. All of that time you're thinking, wow, at least the actors are making some money here, right? Because we're binging all this stuff, we're paying for more streaming services. Well, no, actually the way it works in streaming, which is made for streaming content is something that only is part of our contract for the last 6 years. And so we don't get more residuals based on how many people are watching the content. In fact, the studios and streamers want us to believe they don't know how many people are watching the content. So when we said that our streaming residuals should reflect the people who are watching it, they said no. And finally, just like everybody else, we are painfully aware of the steep inflation that's occurred in the past few years. So our ask for an increase in base pay is reflective of that, and they said no. So rules about how our work can be used, fair compensation for the use of our image, increase in pay reflective of inflation. This isn't an us issue, this is an us issue. This is all of us. The people who actually do the work deserve to be fairly compensated and not taken advantage of by these big CEOs. They're trying to strong-arm us into taking a deal that doesn't compensate for what we really deserve. And in fact, you may have seen they went back to the table with our siblings over in the Writers Guild. And after that started to fall apart, they decided to hire a big PR firm to do damage control. We are not a PR issue. We are workers who deserve to be fairly compensated. And if they need a PR firm to deal with us, that means they are scared. We have got them on the run. When we told them SAG-AFTRA is easy to work with, hard to fight, they didn't believe us. But we are showing them that is true. And you know why? It's not just because of us and our resiliency. What they didn't count on was all of you. Every time you share our message in social media, hashtag SAG-AFTRA strike, every time you see us wearing a t-shirt and say, hey, I know you're on strike and I support you. Every time you come and add your voices to our voices on the street, marching with us, having our rally, you send a message that we are stronger than they are, and when we fight, we win. So what I say to you is, when I say union, you say power. Union. Power. Union. Power. Union. Power. Union. Power. My friends, join us in the street and let's let them know that we are in this to the end and we are going to win. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Michelle, proud. We are so proud of you. We're so proud of all the SAG-AFTRA members. Okay, y'all, this is what's going to happen because Labor Day is not over. We're going to hit the streets. We got a little band that's going to come, the Boston Musicians Union. Let's give them a round of applause. Okay, they're going to march over, they're going to march us and lead us to the rally that's waiting, a march to the rally. So we need this middle line to just scoot your chairs in because they're going to walk down the middle, okay? They're going to march. But hold on. We're going to lead one more chant before we go. And I'm going to bring up Desalia to say one more chant, and then we'll start the marching band. And then everybody go to the rally. Okay, ready? Go. Ready.
Get up, get